Today we're going to talk about direct questions. In other words, we're going to talk about this again. Remember this? When in English you ask a question, you have to move some words to the front. But which words? The basic principle is you should move the first word in the verb cluster. In this case, it is the verb phrase plus time. Right? So the original sentence is those guys should leave. Should leave is the verb cluster. So you move the first word to the front. Should those guys leave? And it becomes a yes or no question. So this is the first kind of question. Now, if you are asking a question word question, then you have to move things twice. In the original sentence, Radha can speak which languages? You're asking this part, right? Which languages? So the first thing to do is, again, move the first word of the verb cluster to the front. The verb cluster is can speak. So you move the first word to the front and it becomes can Radha speak which languages? But you're not asking yes or no. You're asking which languages. So you have to move this to the front also. And it becomes which languages can Radha speak? Remember, once you have moved something, it leaves a trace in the original position. So you cannot add something into this spot. The thing that belongs here still exists. It just looks like it has moved. So don't add anything back. Right? Same here, right? Once you move the can, there's still a trace in the original spot. So please do not fill this spot with other stuff. Okay, that's the basic concept. Let's look at some specific situations. Yes or no questions. Find the verb cluster. These are all of the words that help form the verb. And then move the first word to the front. The rest is the same, question mark. If your sentence only has one word in the verb cluster, you have to add the second word. And the second word is do. In this case, past tense, did. Oh, I can't say tomorrow, right? It's past tense. Yesterday. Sorry about that. So now you have two words. Did or do is a pure verb. It doesn't mean anything. It just tells you, hey, this is a verb. This is an action. And as we learned last semester, the first word in the verb cluster tells you the tense. So this word tells you it's the future. This word tells you it's the past. So went is the past of go. When you add do, this becomes past. So this is just go, right? Past plus go equals went. Okay, now you have two words in the verb cluster. So you can move the first word to the front. And you have a yes or no question. The third case is if your verb is the be verb, right? Is. This is the exception. You do not add a new word. You simply move the be verb to the front. So usually after you form the question, there will still be a verb here. But if your sentence uses the be verb after you form a question, there will not be a verb left. This is because a sentence with a be verb has no action. It's simply describing a situation. So there's no action, so you don't need a verb. Okay, these are yes or no questions. So far, everything okay? Everything clear? Questions? Okay, next is question word questions. And the question words are, well, the first one is, let's say you're asking about this person. You don't know who my best friend is. So your sentence will actually be, um, first of all, it will look like this, but this is incorrect. The sentence order is wrong. We have to uh, give it the correct sentence order. First of all, just like in a yes or no question, we have a be verb. So you move the be verb to the front. This is still not correct because you also have a question word, and the question word goes to the very front. And that is the correct sentence order for a question word question. Right? So first you're asking about this part of the sentence. It's a question, so you move the be verb to the front, and because you have a question word, you move the question word to the front also. Okay, so the question words: who, what, when, where, why, how, which. Which means you have options. Uh, okay, it's used the same way as what, but used when you have options. So what means it could be anything. Which means you have mentioned a few things and you want the other person to pick from one of these things. So what is your favorite color means any color in the world. But which is your favorite color means that previously we have mentioned several colors. From these colors, which one is your favorite? Um, let's see. You know, the question words can be quite interesting because English has question words and then it often has answer words. Let me show you. The answer to what is that. The answer to when is then. The answer to where is there. And the answer to which is this. So not every question word has an answer, but many of them do. Right, so who is asking about a person? What is asking about a thing? When is time? Where is place? Or we'll talk about this in the second half of the semester, where sometimes also has an abstract meaning. Why is reason, and then how is the way, what way, or how much. So this is way, means, or degree. Way and means just means like how did you do it? Using what way, using what tools. Degree is how serious, how intense. So one thing you should probably remember about how is um, this sentence. How do you feel? You should answer this sentence with an adjective. So you don't say hunger, you say hungry because you need an adjective. Right? This is slightly different from Chinese. In Chinese, you might say you feel anger, but in English, you have to say you feel angry. You have to use an adjective because how is not asking about things. It is asking about the way or the degree. So if a question begins with how, you should not answer with a noun. Okay, and then finally, this is not a question word. Whether is not a question word. Remember, whether is not asking a question. Whether is the same as if when you only have two options. We learned about if, I think 2 weeks ago, right? If is a condition or a possibility. If blah, 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 then blah, blah, blah. If the teacher leaves, then we can go home. So if in that example, if has one possibility. But whether is when you have two and only two possibilities. Uh, if something happens or if something doesn't happen. Whether the teacher uses English or Chinese, we still have to pay attention. So you see there are two options. Teacher uses English, teacher uses Chinese. That's when you use the word whether. Whether is not to ask questions. Okay, so that's question words. Questions so far? Okay, other stuff. Let's see. Okay, negative questions. Oh, how did that happen? Negative questions. So the difference between a positive question and a negative question, they are asking about the same thing, but the expectation is different. If you're asking a negative question, you're expecting the answer to be yes, she is at home. Okay, again, this is different from Chinese. Is it different from Chinese? Okay, and I don't care about Chinese. Isn't she at home? You are expecting her to be at home. But if you ask the positive question, is she at home? That means you don't know. Your expectation could be either way. But if you're asking a negative question, you expect the thing to be true. Same for okay, so you can ask negative questions, or you can ask a tag question, which is adding the negative question to the end. These two mean the same thing. You expect her to be at home. Now, in both of these examples, uh, we have actually moved two words to the front here and also here. Right? The original sentence is it should be like She is not at home. Gosh, she is not at home, right? That's the original sentence. And then, which is the same as she isn't at home. And then we have moved the isn't to the front. But you don't have to move the isn't to the front, right? Originally, we said only move the first word in the verb cluster. So in fact, uh, you can also do this, right? You're only moving the first word, and not stays here. The meaning is the same. Well, I guess now this doesn't belong here. Uh, Whether you use isn't she at home, or you use is she not at home, the meaning is the same. It just feels more formal if you keep the not in its original place, right? We usually use contractions in speech, in informal English. So if you're asking a question in daily life, usually we move the not along with the verb. But if for some reason you want to be more formal, then you can keep the not in the original place. Same here. She is at home. Is she not? Again, the meaning is the same. It just feels more formal when you don't move the not. Okay, and it's the same for these, hang on. It's a bit, okay, let me think for a second. Right, so you can also use negative questions for question words, but not all of them. So if you use a negative question using a question word, it assumes that the answer to all cases is yes, right? Just like when you say, uh, "Isn't she at home?" You expect her to be at home. So if you say, "Who isn't excited for the grammar exam?" You are expecting the answer to be everybody is excited for the grammar exam, right? So there, again, if you say, "Isn't she at home?" you expect her to be at home. If you say, "Who isn't excited?" you expect everybody to be excited. When isn't it a good time to have breakfast? You are expecting the answer to be, it is always a good time to have breakfast. Now, for question word tag questions, the function is slightly different from asking a negative question. So remember, if we say, "Isn't she at home?" and "She is at home, isn't she?" the meaning is the same. We expect her to be at home. But if you ask uh, if you add a tag question, Sorry, you can't add a tag question to question words. Sorry about that. I forgot. Right. So this is negative questions for question word questions. Okay, so far? Questions so far? Okay, a few more things. So these are the basic rules for asking direct questions in English. But as English evolves and as more and more people use the internet, we have more and more different kinds of questions. And um, this is where I really love the English language. So, for example, the first one, we have what's called a rhetorical question, which means you don't expect an answer. You're asking a question, but it's really not a question. So if I say, do you really want to do that? I'm telling you, you don't want to do that. It's a bad idea. Or if I say, are you sure this is the right way? I'm telling you, I don't think this is the right way. I'm not opening up a discussion with you. I'm telling you something. This is called a rhetorical question. The next thing is it looks like a question, but it's not a question. As you can see from the exclamation point. In English, we use exclamation points to express strong feeling. So this is not asking you, what did he say? This is saying, I can't believe he said this. He said what? It's not really a question. Okay, next thing. Sometimes something will be so confusing or flabbergasting, befuddling, confounding, perplexing. You have no idea what's going on. Uh, Online, you just might write a series of question marks to express your pure confusion. So confusing you cannot even form a question. Oh, I should also say, like, if you ask, if you use an exclamation point and a question mark, it's actually more common to put the question mark in front. Both are fine, but it's more common to put the question mark in front of the exclamation point. Okay, and finally, the last one. You will often see this kind of sentence. I wonder if. This is not a question. And this is different from Chinese. In Chinese, this sentence is 我在想他会不会来学校. And in Chinese, we would end it with a question mark. But in English, uh, technically, according to the grammar, this is not a question. You are telling someone that you are thinking about this. So you're describing what you think. It's not a question. However, in daily life, we usually use this kind of sentence as a question. Like, let's say I'm trying on a new suit jacket and I put it on and I say, I wonder if this makes me look fat. According to the grammar, I'm just saying what I think. But in the real world situation, I'm asking you, does this make me look fat? And I'm expecting you to say no. But that's a different issue. So it's a sentence that is not a question, but it is often used as a question. And that's why, especially online, you will see people end this sentence with a question mark. Okay, that's it for questions. Do you have anything you want to ask? All right, if not, let's turn to our handout. This is page 8. And we're going to do some very basic practice questions. So here's what page 8 looks like. Uh, Using the information given to you by B, fill in the blanks to form the question. So, for example, uh, B tells you that the original sentence is, I heard the news yesterday, or B heard the news yesterday. So if A is asking the question, then it should be, did you hear the news yesterday? Right? So it gives you the answer. You have to ask the question. Be careful about pronouns. If B says I, then A should ask you, right? These are two people in a situation. The second example, I heard the news yesterday. So um, the answer is yesterday. So it's asking about time. In the first question, the answer is I did, which is yes or no, right? Yes. So it's asking a yes or no question. But if the answer is a time, then you have to begin with the question word for time, when, and then finish the rest of the sentence. Okay? Uh, there are 10 more. I'll give you 5 minutes. 简俊杰在线上吗？简俊杰在吗？
在，老师在。
Great. Can you help us answer question 3?
Question 3.
So the answer is yes, he is. What's the original question?
Is Eric reading today's paper?
Good. Is Eric reading today's paper? Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 4, 李宗伟。宗伟，我刚才看到他。Okay. 杨振汉. Number 4. If the answer is today's paper, what's the original question? It's talking about a thing, right? So the first word should be what, and then is Eric reading? Good. And then there's nothing in the rest of the sentence. Good. What is Eric reading? Number 5, 郭继荣. Question 5. Did, oh sorry, did is here. Did you find my wallet? Good, yes. Nothing in the question word. Did you find my wallet? As our classmate reminded us, this should be find, not found, because the past tense is on did. You only need to use one word for the past tense. Did you find my wallet? Number 6, 刘振兴. Question 6. If the answer is on the floor of the car, what's the question? Where did you find my wallet? Good. On the floor is a place, begin with where. Found is past tense, so this is did. The answering person says I, so you, when you're asking, you say you. And then the main verb is now in its original form, find. And then the rest of the sentence, my wallet. Yes. Right, so it's asking about a place. Oh, sorry, your wallet. You find your wallet. I found my wallet. Hang on. You're right. Good catch. Okay, so questions 5 and 6. Sorry, this should be your wallet, not my wallet. All right, I and my, therefore you and your. Good job. 加分. I'm joking. 没有加分。没有这个机制。Question 7. 林彩瑜. Question 7. If the answer is because he enjoys the exercise, what's the question? It's asking about a reason, right? So this one should be why, and then walks is present tense. So this word should be did, do, or does. Does. Good. And then the subject, Mr. Lee, the verb now in its original form because you use the word does to show the tense. So walk and then to work. Okay. You want to try another one? Okay. Orange, question 8, please. Question 8. Number 8. This one. This one. Good. Does, sorry, nothing here. Does Mr. Lee, no, 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 this one, walk to work? Good. Does, so nothing in the question word. Does Mr. Lee walk to work? Number 9, Huang Xinru. Good. Yes or no question, nothing in the question word. First word in the verb cluster is will. So will, subject Ms. Cook, verb return, and then the rest of the sentence, to her office at 1 o'clock. Number 10, He Yankui. Good. Asking about a time. So when, and then the first word of the verb cluster will, subject Ms. Cook, original form of the main verb return, rest of sentence, to her office, question mark. Number 11. 郭志勇再一个. Number 11, please. Is the orange juice in the refrigerator? Good. Asking a yes or no question. So nothing in the question word. It's a be verb. So we just move the be verb to the front. Is. And the rest of the sentence is the same. Finally, number 12. 吴一恒.吴一恒在吗? Good. In the refrigerator is asking a place. So where, and then be verb to the front is, rest of the sentence, the orange juice. Good job. Questions about this page? All right, let's keep going. Page 9. Same thing, except this time it doesn't give you the different parts of the sentence. You have to form the sentence yourself using the information. 9 questions. I'll give you 5 minutes. There may be more than one right answer. 林平言, question 2. Okay, why do you need to go to see the principal? So you're answering the question, uh, it's a reason, so why? Question word do, because this is the present tense. Why do, and then I becomes you. Need to, and you added go to see the principal. That's okay, that works. You don't have to add go to, right? Why do you need to see the principal is also a good answer. Good. Number 3, Yao Zehong. Question 3, please. When, what's the second word? When does Rachel start her new job? Is that your answer? Okay, good. That works. Now, it says next Monday morning, which is the future. So you can say, when will Rachel start her new job? But you can also say, when does Rachel start her new job? Because in English, you can use the present to talk about the future if it's talking about like a plan. The plan is for Rachel to start her new job next Monday morning, so you can ask the question in present tense also. Good. Number 4,温凯翔. 有温凯翔吗? Yes. Question 4, please. So it's asking a time, right? So you begin with when. When do you usually leave home for work? Good. Yes. So when, and then it's in the present. So do, I becomes you, usually leave, and then home for work. Good job. Number 5, 蔡文庆. Why didn't you get to the meeting? Okay, so because, so it's a why, uh, and then the information says didn't get to. So didn't, I becomes you, get, and then to the meeting. Good. Number 6, 陈思豪. Okay, so at is asking about a place. So how do we begin? Where? Good. And then it gives us the information you can buy. So the next word is, we use the first word in the verb cluster. So it would be can, right? Where can, and then you becomes I. The person answering says you, the person asking says I. So where can I buy razor blades? Okay, good. Okay, we're almost out of time. I'll do the next for myself. Or next for myself. Okay, number 7. When will you be leaving for home? Or when are you leaving for home? Number 8. Where did you study Chinese? And then the next one, why did you study Chinese in Germany? And the next one, why didn't you go to China to study Chinese? Number 9, when do you expect to finish this project? You cannot use will because expect is already talking about the future. So it has to be present. When do you expect? Number 10, where will the spaceship go? Questions? Okay, during the break, please do page 10. Same thing, 10 questions. Question 2. 志豪，要不要再试一次 Number 2. Okay, so it begins with a thing, right? So what should the question word be? Good. What? And then this is in the past. So the next word should be did, do, or will. Did. Good. And then the rest of the sentence. Robert, see. This is no longer past. The past is did. Right? So this is the original form see. Okay? Okay, good. Number 3. 彩鱼，再试一下. Question 3. This is a yes or no question. So the first word should be did in the past. Did. Right? So did, and then Robert. Is this got or get? Get, right, because you already have did, which means past. So did Robert get, and then the rest of the sentence. A good look at the bank robber. Okay? Okay, good. Number 4, Liu Yixuan. 4. What? Are you sure it's will? Wait, look at the information. It says am, right? I am. So what are you making question mark? Good. Number 5, Zhang Ziying. Zhang Ziying. Yes, number 5. Who does that calculator belong to? Right? Good. Oh, I should also add something. So yes, you can say who does that calculator belong to? You can also say, if you're crazy, you can also say to whom does that calculator belong? You can only use the word whom when it is the object, not the subject. In this case, this is the object of to. To whom? But you don't have to. You can always just use who. Well, okay, if you use who, then you should not move the to. You just begin with who. Who does that calculator belong to? But if you use whom as the object, then you also have to move the preposition because it is the object of the preposition. So you have to move both of them together. We'll talk about this more in the second half of the semester. Number 6, 林奕轩，林奕轩在吗？林奕轩再次。Okay, Edna, number 6. Oh, sorry. That's okay. What's your question? Number 2. Okay, number 3. Yeah. Oh, you're right. You're right. So it should be. It's asking about a person. You're right. So it should be who got a good look at the bank robber. Sorry about that. Thank you. See, that's why I always ask if you have questions. Okay, great. Number 6. Good. It's asking for a thing. So what? Present tense, do. I becomes you. You. And then the verb is have. In. And then my becomes your pocket. So what do you have in your pocket? Good job. Number 7. 张庭伟. Question 7. What did the cat kill? Good. Mouse. So it's asking about a thing. What? In English, we usually don't use who for animals unless you love them very much. So what? Past tense. Did the cat, and then the verb is kill. Question mark. Number 8. Kan Jingwei. Are you sure? It's asking about a thing. So what? Good. What killed the cat? So in this case, we don't have to move a question word because the you only have to move the first word because the subject is what's being asked in this question, right? You just replace the subject with the question word, and you would have the correct structure of the sentence. If we go back to this picture, wait, I think we have a better picture. See if I can find it. Yes, this picture. It's this thing. You would, it's also not a very good picture. Yeah, okay, let's use this picture. Okay, so it's the same thing. It's asking about the subject. So you would move the subject to the front as usual, and you would move the will to the front as usual, but it looks the same. You move it to a different spot, but the order of the words is the same. Okay? Right. So that's why the answer is what killed the cat? So you guys know the saying, right? Curiosity killed the cat. Do you know the second half? Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. Number 9, Guo Jiyong. Aha, she has very smartly disappeared. Hmm, 邓宇慈, number 9. Okay, so it's who, and then I think it's uh, did, do, or will. Did, past tense, good. Who did, and then you get a letter from? Who did you get a letter from? Or again, if you're crazy, from whom did you get a letter? Question 10. 陆正怡, 在吗? Question 10. It's asking about a person, so you begin with who, right? And then in this case, it's the subject of the sentence. So you don't have to change anything else. Just change the subject to who, and then the rest of the sentence is the same. Who wrote a note on the envelope or envelope? Okay? Okay. Number 11, Wang Riqi. So it's asking about a thing, right? Good. What makes the rest of the sentence is the same because you're replacing the subject with the question. All right, so just change this to what, and everything is the same. Okay, great. So speaking of apples, do you guys know this one? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Yeah, it's an idiom that means 什么有其父必有其子, something like that. Like the child will be very similar to the parent. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Okay, questions about this page? All right, page 11. You're getting more and more freedom. Okay, so this is a little more complicated. It says every question begins with what plus some kind of do. And the verb should be the same as in the hint. Let's do the first one together. The answer is, I think she plans to look for a job in hotel management. And the information is, Emily is going to look for a job in hotel management after she graduates. We have to begin with what and some kind of do. So in this case, the key is I think. So what do you think Emily is going to do after she graduates? Here. So this is the answer because you have to begin with what, you have to begin with do, and then the answer begins with I think. So what do you think? And then she is, of course, Emily. And the answer is plans to look for. So the key information is some kind of action. So that's what you're going to ask about. Emily is going to do. And then the time is after she graduates. So it takes a little more thinking to do these questions. Um, should we do number 2 together? Yeah, okay. Let's do number 2 together also. We already know the answer has to begin with what do or do or did or something. Okay, it's ran down the stairs. So this is in the past. What did? Oh, you're right. That is number 3. So we're looking at number 2. Can is present tense. So do. Can you make 12 photocopies of this report? Ah, interesting. The answer is a question. Dun dun dun. Okay, so the information is you can make 12 photocopies of this report to help me get ready for the meeting. But it has to begin with what do. Hmm. Okay, let's follow the rules. You becomes I. What do I let's say um the answer wants the person to do something. So what do I do? And then we copy the rest of the sentence. To help you. Is that right? Me, can you, me. Hang on, hang on. Emily is going to look for Joanne. Yes, Judy. You're a genius. Um, so that is a general purpose answer. You can say what you can't because the question says you have to begin with do. What do? What do I do for you? That doesn't work because what do I do means what is my job in general. Yes. What do I need to do to help you get ready for the meeting? That could work. Let's see. Let's check. To do to help you uh, get ready for the meeting. Right. So the answer doesn't include get ready for the meeting. This is part of the question. Uh, what do I need to, yeah, what do I need to do? This is the action, and then to help you get, that could work. Good. Um, let's see. I think there's one more rule here. Use the same verb tense or modal. The tense is the present. Okay. The modal is can. How do you how do you begin a sentence with what do and then have the word can? But it says what plus a form of do. Ah, okay, yeah. So if we interpret the rule to mean okay, so if you interpret the rule to mean it has to use do somewhere in the sentence, not right after what, then all of your answers would make sense and life would be very easy. So the more flexible understanding is like, uh, what can I do to help you get ready for the meeting? Would be the most intuitive answer. Gosh, somebody should tell the textbook editor to clarify. Although I think the editor is dead. Okay, let's do number 3 together also, because this is really confusing. Okay, what? This is more straightforward. Past ran is past tense, right? So did, and then I becomes you, and then do. When, so this is the information the answer does not have. When the fire alarm sounded. And then the answer is ran down the stairs and out of the building. Okay, that makes sense. Hooray. Okay, what do we have next? Uh, 5 more. I'll give you 10 minutes to finish the other 5. So 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8 is very long. Okay, 10 minutes. Yes, I think it does make sense. You don't have to put the do right next to the what. You just have to use the word do somewhere in your answer. I can feel all of the question marks in the air. So I'll guide you to do all of these. And you can compare your answer with mine. Number 4, we have to begin with what? And then the information says, I would like to. So we have a word. We have more than one word in the verb cluster. Sorry, would like to go. This is the verb cluster. So that we move the first one to the front. So this is would. I becomes you. Like to, and then we have to use the word do. And then the rest of the sentence. After school today. Right? If the information is not in the answer, it should be in the question. The answer does not say after school, so you have to put after school in the question part. Okay? All right, number 5. Again, what? And then it says am trying, so the modal verb is am. I becomes you, so it should be are you. And then the answer doesn't have trying, so we have to put this in the question. Trying to do. Number 6. Sorry, Kanjiwei, number 5. Question. What are you doing does not work because the answer should be making this coin stand on edge. What are you doing? Making. So you have to try to do, try to make. Okay. Grammar. Yes. Okay. Number 6. What? It's in the present and the subject is Kevin. So this should be does. Kevin. And then need to do. And then the rest of the sentence. So like the do here replaces hand in all of his homework. That's what do means here. So the rest of the sentence begins with if. If he wants to pass advanced algebra, 代数. Number 7, what? The subject is Nick. It is the present tense. So does Nick. And then the action is do. And the rest of the sentence is for a living. Now, in daily life, if you simply ask, what does Nick do? The meaning is the same as what does Nick do for a living? So I will accept both answers. What does Nick do? And what does Nick do for a living? Number 8. Ooh, this one's long. Did you say something to that man over there? Why does he look angry? I accidentally ran into him and stepped on his foot. Okay, that's the premise, 前情提要. Now, the answer is said something nasty. We have to begin with what? What? The subject is he. So, and then said is past tense. So, did he? And then the action, the answer is say. So the question is do. It's an action, right? What did he do? And then the rest of the sentence, I becomes you when you bumped into him. Next, apologized. Okay, so we begin with what? Past tense, did, I becomes you. Apologize is the action, so what did you do? Next, then, and then The answer is walked away without saying a word. And the question is also, or the information is also walked away without saying a word. So the answer here is then, what did you do? Remember, it's a lowercase w because it's not the beginning of the sentence. The beginning of the sentence is then. What an unpleasant person. And I didn't mean to step on his foot. It was just an accident. Okay, questions about this page? Yes. Uh, okay, if you ask what did he say, then the answer would not include said. The answer would just be something nasty. Right? The information is either in the answer or in the question. If the answer is in the question, you don't have to repeat it in the answer. Okay? Good. Other questions? Ah, you're right. He becomes you. You're right, you're right. Sorry. Oh no, I did say you, right? Then he walked away without saying a word. Uh I apologize. Oh, you're right. Yeah, sorry. He. Then what did he do? Good catch. Thank you. Other questions? So you can see I have not prepared the answers. I'm doing these questions with you together. We're all in this together. Okay, next page. Is it which or is it what? A very fun game to play. You have 6 questions. I'll give you 3 minutes. Daliang, question 3. Which or what? Which? Good. It gives you 2 dictionaries. These are options. Choose from these options, so it is which. Number 4, Alex, which or what? What? Because there are no options. So you simply a what. Number 5, Judy, which or what? First one. Number 5. Good. What? The question has no options. And then the second one, which, because of those two languages, gives you options. So it's which. Number 6, Selena. What? Good. No options. Number 7, Carrie. 7. Which? There are options in the answer. The one implies that they are talking about several jobs, and B says this one. So there are options. If the answer is what, then sorry, if A is asking what, then B would say a job at. Out of any job, one job. But here B says the job, which means from several options, this option. So the answer is which. Finally, number 8. Eliza. Good. Which? They're talking about one remote control, 遥控器. There are a limited number of buttons on this remote control. Those are your options. So the answer is which. Questions? Okay, moving on. Okay, so create a question for each answer. Wow, there are a lot of questions on this page. 20 questions. I don't think we have enough time. Okay, so do this for homework. Your homework, please finish up to the end of page 15. So 13, 14, 15 is homework. Next week, we will compare answers. See you next week.